300 BCE to 3200 BCE of the Chalcolithic period, that is Copper Age. The Indus Valley Civilization area shows ceramic similarities with southern Turkmenistan and northern Iran, which suggest considerable mobility and trade. During the early Harappan period, similarities in pottery, seals, figurines, ornaments, etc. Agriculture. The nature of Indus Valley Civilization's agriculture system is still largely a matter of conjecture due to the limited amount of information surviving through the ages. Some speculation is possible. However, earlier studies prior to 1980 often assumed that food production was imported to the Indus Valley by a single linguistic group called Aryans or from a single area. But recent studies indicate that food production was largely indigenous to the Indus Valley. Already, the Meghra people used domesticated wheats and barley, and the major cultivated cereal crop was naked 6-row barley, a crop derived from 2-row barley. There is no evidence of irrigation, but such evidence could have been obliterated by repeated catastrophic floods. The Indus civilization appears to contradict the hydraulic depositism hypothesis of the origin of urban civilization and the state. According to this hypothesis, cities could not have arisen without irrigation systems capable of generating massive agricultural surpluses. To build these systems, a depositing centralized state emerged that was able to suppress the social status of thousands of people and harness their labor as slaves. It is very difficult to square this hypothesis with that is known about the Indus civilization. There is no evidence of kings, slaves, or forced mobilization of labor. It is often assumed that intensive agriculture production requires dams and canals. This assumption is easily refuted. Throughout Asia, rice farmers produce significant agricultural surpluses from terraced, hillside rice paddies, which result not from slavery but rather the accumulated labor of many generations of people. Diet in Indus Valley Civilization. Some post 1980 studies indicate that food production was largely indigenous to the Indus Valley. It is known that the people of Meghra used domesticated wheat and barley, and the major cultivated cereal crop was naked 6-row barley, a crop derived from 2-row barley. The Meghra site demonstrates that food production was a indigenous South Asian phenomenon, and that the data support interpretation of the prehistoric urbanization and complex social organization in South Asia as based on indigenous but not isolated cultural developments. Others, such as Dorian Fuller, however, indicate that it took some 2000 years before Middle Eastern wheat was acclimatized to South Asian conditions. It has long been claimed that the Indus Valley was the home of literate civilization, but this has recently been challenged on linguistic and archaeological grounds. Well, over 400 Indus symbols have been found on seals or ceramic pots and over a dozen other materials, including a signboard that apparently once hung over the gate on the inner citadel of Indus city of Dholavira. It has also been claimed on occasion that the symbols were exclusively used for economic transactions, but this claim leaves unexplained an appearance of Indus symbols on many ritual objects, many of which were mass produced in molds. Homes in Indus Valley Civilization. Houses were 1 or 2 stories high made of baked brick with flat roofs and were just about identical. Each was built around a courtyard with windows overlooking the courtyard. The outside walls had no windows. Each home had its own private drinking well and its own private bathroom. Clay pipes led from the bathrooms to sewers located under the streets. These sewers drained into nearly rivers and streams. Harappan cities did not develop slowly. which suggests that wherever built these cities learned to do so in another place. As the Indus flooded, cities were rebuilt on top of each other. Archaeologists have discovered several different cities, one built over the other, each built a little less skillfully. The most skillful was an bottom. It would appear that builders grew less able or less interested in perfection over time. Still, each city is a marvel, and each greatly advanced for its time. Their towns were laid out in grids everywhere, like straight streets, well built homes. These people were incredible builders. Scientists have found that they think are giant reservoirs for fresh water. They have also found that even the smallest house at the edge of each town was linked to the town's central drainage system. Clothing. Men and women dressed in colorful robes. Women wore jewelry of gold and precious stone and even wore lipstick. Among the treasures found was a statue of woman wearing a bracelet. Clothing was the most part similar of both men and women. The basic costume of ancient society was length of cloth wrapped around the lower part of the body and a loose fitting garment for the upper body, which was usually another length of fabric. A headdress was also worn, mainly by the men. The first being a skirt type garment, dhoti, with a blouse, choli, and scarf. Second is a sari, which is a length of fabric wound around the body with the loose end thrown over the shoulder, called as pallu. Sometimes a choli would be worn with this. The last garment was worn mainly by tribal women. The Adivasi is a length of fabric tied around the waist with no upper garment worn. Men also had a choice in their clothing, though not as varied as the women. Men usually wore a dhoti, which is a length of fabric wrapped around the waist. This could be left as a skirt or brought through the legs and made into a pants type garment. Men of the south rarely wore shirts, but men of the north wore a fitted upper garment. Male headdress was also a length of fabric wrapped around the head, called a turban. Entertainment. A beautiful small bronze statue of a dancer was found, which tells us that they enjoyed dance and had great skill working with metals. In the ancient city of Mohenjo-daro, scientists have found the remains of a large central pool with steps leading down at both ends. This could have been a public swimming pool or perhaps have been used for religious ceremonies. Around this large central pool were smaller rooms that might have dressing rooms and smaller pools that might have been private baths. Some of the toys found were small carts, whistles shaped like birds, and toy monkeys which could slide down a string. Decline, collapse, and legacy of Indus Valley civilization. Around 1900 BCE, signs of a gradual decline began to emerge. People started to leave the cities. Those who remained were poorly nourished. By around 1800 BC, most of the cities were abandoned. By around 1700 BC, most of the cities were abandoned. In 1953, Sir Mortimer Wheeler proposed that the decline of Indus Valley civilization was caused by the invention of Indo-European tribe from Central Asia called the Aryans. As evidence, he cited a group of 37 skeletons found in various parts of Mohenjo-daro and passages in the Vedas referring to battles and forts. However, scholars soon started to reject Wheeler's theory, since the skeletons belonged to a period after the cities abandoned and none were found near the citadel. Subsequent examinations of the skeletons by Kenneth Kennedy in 1994 showed that the marks on the skulls were caused by erosion and not violent aggression. Today, many scholars believe that the collapse of Indus Valley civilization was caused by drought and a decline in trade with Egypt and Mesopotamia. It has also been suggested that immigration by new peoples, deforestation, floods, or changes in the course of the river may have contributed to the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization. The Indus Valley civilization has been tentatively identified with the homonym Meluha, known from the Sumerian records. It has been compared in a particular with the civilizations of Elam, also in the context of the Elamo-Dravidian hypothesis, and with Minoan Crete because of isolated cultural parallels such as the ubiquitous goddesses worship and depictions of bull leaping. The mature Harappan phase of the IVC is contemporary to the early to middle Bronze Age in the ancient Near East, in particular the